PA 12 Public Policy and Program Administration. Hello there, I'm Krisha Maya Bransosa and I'll be sharing with you my presentation about key elements of public policy. Before we proceed with our topic, let's have a short recap of what is public policy. Public policy is a system of laws, regulatory measures, courses of actions, and funding priorities concerning a given topic promulgated by a governmental entity or its representatives. So basically, public policy is a set of laws, guidelines, and actions decided and taken by the government in order to work in favor of the public. Now let's proceed with our main topic, which is the three major key elements of public policy. First, we have problem definition. Problem definition is widely regarded as the first stage of policy cycle, a stage that lays fundamental groundwork for the ensuing struggle over the construction of useful policy alternatives. Definition in this sense is not merely a label for a set of facts and perceptions. It is a package of ideas that includes at least implicitly an account of the causes and consequences of some circumstances that are deemed undesirable and a theory about how a problem may be alleviated. A problem definition highlights some aspects of the situation. It pushes forward some potential solutions and neglecting the rest of the solutions that will not be helpful with the public's problems. Moving on, this key element, the problem definition key element, must answer the questions: what are the problematic conditions? What are the agreements and disagreements of the matter or policy? What are the policy issues? And what plausible and realistic solutions can be offered? Since it's a problem definition, the main goal of this key is to discuss the problems before creating a solution. It discusses what are the needs of the people at the moment and how it will affect the public positively and will help resolve the issues. Second, we have goals. Goals is regarded as the mechanism for developing economic social system, a procedure for determining future. A policy goal is a statement of intent providing guidance for actions. The important role of public policy is to make the society lead a better life and to maintain the delivery of the goods and services are significant. We have 5 stages in goals, which are: first, agenda setting. Agenda setting is public attention focuses on a public problem or issue. Officials' words and actions have focused the attention. Agenda setting is where the issue is presented or given attention. Second, we have policy formulation. In policy formulation, policymakers in the legislature and the bureaucracy take up the issue. They create legislative, regulatory, or programmatic strategies to address the problem. In policy formulation, this is where they start to talk about the problem and look for a solution that will effectively address the problem. Third, we have policy adoption. In policy adoption, policymakers formally adopt a policy solution, usually in the form of legislation or rules. After policy formulation, where they discuss a possible solution or a plausible solution to address the problem, in policy adoption naman, they use the policy or the rule that they found and give it a try if it could actually help resolve the problem, which leads to policy implementation. In policy implementation, government agencies begin the job of making the policy work by establishing procedures, writing guidance documents, or issuing grants in aid to other governments or to the local governments. In policy implementation, from the word itself, implementation, this is where they start to give it an actual try to the public if it will work or not. Next is policy evaluation. Policy analysts inside and outside government determine whether the policy is addressing the problem and whether the implementation is proceeding well. In policy evaluation, this is where they observe whether the public is taking it well or it is actually helping resolve the problem, which also leads to revisions. They may recommend revisions in the agenda, in the formulation of policy, or in its implementation. In revisions, that's where they suggest changes in which that would fit perfectly to resolve the problem. For example, if the problem is not fully assessed by this rule or policy that has been chosen, they can request or recommend a revision that will or can change the policy formulation or the policy implementation, and it will perfectly fit to how the problem should be addressed. Next, we have, on third key element, we have policy instrument. Policy instrument are the tools which can be used to overcome problems and achieve objective. They include conventional transport methods such as new infrastructure, traffic management, and pricing policies. But increasingly, they also involve attitudinal changes and use of information technology. In policy instrument, it is methods and instruments that are used to address the problem and achieve the goals. On the next slide here, we have examples of methods used in addressing a public problem. First, we have infrastructure. In infrastructure, we have the safety, which is the public health, well-being, and prosperity by providing, maintaining facilities. In infrastructure safety, they provide facilities that focuses on the public health and well-being. Next is maintenance. In infrastructure maintenance, they provide adequate police and fire services. And next, we have support, or they maintain infrastructure that supports population growth. Next, we have traffic management. In traffic management, we have travel alternatives, land use, pricing, and freight. In travel alternative, it includes alternative hour of travel, pedestrian and bicycle spaces, and telecommuting. Well, this method is not, I cannot say that it is not properly used, but we're still trying this method. I think in the Philippines we have terrible traffic, and these are some issues that the public still faces but is not properly addressed. In land use, it includes parking strategies, transit stops, and pedestrian or bicycle connections. In pricing, we have high occupancy toll lanes or HOT, time of day pricing, and parking pricing. In freight, we have truck-only toll lanes and lane restrictions. And next, we have pricing policies. In pricing policies, public policy and pricing, we have predatory pricing. Predatory pricing is selling below cost to drive out competitors. It is a strategy mostly used by companies or private companies to eliminate their competitors. They uses lower prices to gain more customers and intimidate their competitors. Next, we have price discrimination. Price discrimination offers same price to all retailers. Next, we have retail. In retail, sellers cannot require dealers to charge a specific price for its product. It's fixed. Deceptive pricing, when a seller states a price or price savings that mislead consumers or are not actually available to consumers. It's a deceptive strategy where consumers are attracted to it, but unfortunately it is not available, like what's happening to an online shopping platform right now, where they give a false advertisement of free shipping, but you cannot really get free shipping at all. Well, it is discounted, but it's not free. And that's all for the key elements of public policy. Again, I am Krisha May Abransosa of BPAA 2020 and from Taguig University. Thank you for listening to my presentation.